Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay, let me see. Really? Video backgrounds are now supported? Really? I wonder what they mean by that. If they mean by this here, see how that's moving? So they're saying that a video background is now supported. But what does that mean? That's interesting. I don't have any videos. I mean, I don't know. What would you know what I mean? Let me see what that entails. Video background now supported. Huh. Well, I'll have to do that another time because I'm not sure what that means. Video background now supported. Sounds interesting, right? Huh. Well, that's for another occasion. I mean, I don't know what I would put back there. Huh. Okay. Well, they added something new. I'll just go back to my purple. All right. Let me see who was here first. C-Mac, thank you so much. Novi D, Carol Lund, Lydia Washington. All right. And let me bring the slides up. Oh, they're already up. There we go. Huh. Cool. So, who is the real global statesman? I say Harry. And I'm pretty sure everybody here believes it's Harry. But William decided to make his big move today. I mean, he's been piping on about this for the longest, but now I guess it's supposed to be official. Thing is, Harry has been the global statesman for quite some time. And Willie Leaks, he's going to have to try to play catch up. And so the tabloids, you know, the Rebecca Englishes of this world, and they're really trying to co-sign to this idea that William is in some measure an extraordinary global statesman. Untrue. And we'll get into that. I think I'm about to hang my foot someplace with this one here because now they just really provoking me. All right. Let me find. Okay. Everything's coming up, statesman. Da da da, ba da da, da 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 da. Starting here, starting now. Honey, everybody knows Harry's a global statesman. Okay. Kate Middleton's positive move shows she's rewarding loyalty during her cancer battle. If they're talking about that the girl that they just gave that little, I suppose you could say it was a promotion, some kind of promotion with the approval of William and Charles, I'm sure. But okay. All right. Now, revealed how Olivia Henson took inspiration. Oh, by the way, we're going to start off with the wedding from this weekend. Not a lot, but why? Just why? Olivia Henson, who of course is the new Duchess of Westminster, took inspiration from Kate Middleton in her bridal look as she wed the Duke of Westminster at Chester Cathedral. Olivia Henson married billionaire Hugh Grosvenor in the picturesque ceremony. Let's see, the Duke of Westminster and Olivia Henson are married after Society Wedding of the Year at Chester Cathedral. If society means boring, now if you'll notice, I decided to use the rolling eye emoji. The rolling eye emoji, because it seemed so necessary with this article. It just caught my eye. It just caught my eye. And confession time, I did read it. I did read it. Guilty. I read some clickbait. I didn't get it from another squatty who posted it online. I dissected this clickbait. And I wasn't the only person to do it. Now, if you could tell me, what is it about these two looks that are in any way similar? She's wearing blue suede shoes on the left. And of course, Kitty, we don't know, is covered with the skirt. She has kind of like a scallop cut around the boat neck neckline there, and Kate has a V-neck, which is all lace at the top. As a matter of fact, it seems like there is a pattern of lace that covers the entire lower part of the gown. Or I don't know if those are appliques or if that is, I don't know, weaved in there or whatever. But she has a plain white skirt. There's nothing, there's no embellishments on it whatsoever. So the dress is not alike. Plus, she has the cutout on the back of her dress, the Duchess of Westminster. The veil, I don't think the veil is at all similar, as well as the flowers. I mean, look at the flowers. She's got pink roses and looks like lilac or something like that. And Kitty, she has something that they gathered at her parents' house that morning. On the left, you could see that the newly minted Duchess of Westminster is wearing a Fabergé laurel wreath tiara, whereas Kitty, I think she's wearing the lover's knot or whatever it is. Huh. Is that a Freudian slip? Lover's knot, as if they're not lovers. Anyway, the point is, there is nothing. So this idea that somehow she has given a nod, that's what the headline said, that Olivia Henson gave a nod. I love when they say the nod, although this headline doesn't say that, but somewhere else it said Olivia Henson gives nod to Kate Middleton or the Princess of Wales, whatever they're calling her. I don't see no nod. The only nod is I'm nodding off at how boring this article is. Now, I wasn't the only person to take exception to it. You want to go ahead? Barrel scraping The dress took long, sorry, the dress was long and white, but otherwise totally different, right? Aside from being a long white dress, there is no similarities. Nothing. Okay. Desperate reporting. Completely different and just desperate to keep these people relevant. There are many more important things going on in this country and the world. Followed by someone else who says, what would the gutter press do without the diva's input? Absolutely no comparison. In other words, why in the world are you all trying to talk about Kate? Let's see what else. Caroline here says, sorry, I don't agree. Kate's makeup was much too harsh. Her hair would have been better up. Her tiara too small for her hair, and veil bouquet too small. Bodice of dress was tardy, whatever that means. Olivia's dress and veil gorgeous, and thought her hair lovely. She was the classier bride. Followed by this other one that says, oh, please. Everyone and everything is not about the diva. Olivia is her own person, intelligent, hardworking, stunning, down to earth. And then up there on the upper right, girl, stop. Girl, stop. The woman did not pay homage to Kate, nor did she take inspiration from a wedding that happened over a decade ago. Stop it. No one, and I mean no one, looks to Kate for style inspiration. Wow. Woo. Now that stings. Someone in Liverpool says, what a misleading headline. And then No One's Fool from New York, New York. That sounds about appropriate. No One's Fool. Seriously, they shared the same hairdresser. Where is the nod to Catherine? No one would have known it if it was if it wasn't published on social media by Richard Ward Salon. The dresses, tiara, bouquets, and hairstyles were different. Nice story for a slow news day. Followed by this one that says, we had best get St. Katie involved somehow. We had best get St. Katie involved somehow. And lastly, who is trying to keep ambitious, hardworking, I'm sorry, let me try that one more time. Who is trying to keep ambitious, hard Middleton in the headlines? Who is feeding these ridiculous stories to the popular press? Olivia is an aristocrat and is in no way would take any notice of an ambitious married in whose mother seems to be managing her PR. Hello, caller, are you there? Caller, you say. Remember Oprah Winfrey said that. Caller, are you there? Caller, you say. Well, I guess they heard that one. I guess they heard that one. There is nothing, there's no nod, there's no identifying, there's nothing. Aside from the fact that they're wearing white, I don't see a connection. I don't see a nod. I don't see anything whatsoever. Oh, let me hop on that train. I just noticed that. Thank you. Royal Sussex membership. There you go. At the top of the chat, there is a link for Royal Sussex memberships. If you would like to support this channel without even thinking about it, you could always get a membership by using the link at the top of the chat, and that is for the membership of Royal Sussex. I was about to say Luxic. Sussex. There you go. So please get yourself a membership to help support this channel. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, I like the blue suede shoes. It's a nice touch. I mean, they look a little clunky. I think they're a bit large, but I like the idea of them. I think if the dress would have been a little fuller, maybe, but then again, maybe she didn't want it full. Maybe she wanted to make sure that everyone could see them. But she has her own, like, very down to earth style, and that suits her. So, it's her day. It's her day. And how dare they try to create some kind of connection on her day with the social climbing Middletons. Let me see. Yes, we went over that before, actually. It is very much similar to Grace Kelly's dress. Absolutely. So yeah, there's nothing daring or anything like that about Kitty's dress. It is definitely a knockoff of our beloved Grace Kelly, Her Serene Highness Princess Grace. Matter of fact, let me see if I can grab that one. And if I can, I'll share it. Uh-huh. Grace Kelly. I happen to have that photo. Okay. Do I or don't I? I mean, I know I have it, but I can't spend too much time looking for it. I liked Grace Kelly though. I thought she was really cool. I still remember when she died. Oh, there we go. Gotcha. Here we go. Um, there you are. So you can see the similarity between Grace Kelly's dress and Kitty's dress. Kitty has the more open collar, and Grace Kelly's dress, it seems as though there are like pearl buttons on her collar. And of course, her veil, you'll notice the veil um, has details around the edges of it. Yeah, there you go. A real fairy tale bride. All right. Thank you so much for the idea. And I'm glad I could share it. uh, Thank you, Amber Rowan. I see you starting already. Mixtic Toxin, how are you? As far as we know, those shoes could be sentimental to her. Who cares what they look like, in my opinion? Absolutely. Absolutely. I through my work, I've actually worked a few weddings before. Well, my old job. And I'm gonna tell you, I have seen some pretty elaborate affairs, but my favorite of all, my favorite was a family that rented a chapel, and let's see, they nobody was like extremely dressed up. These seemed like some very country folk, and they were neat and everything, but they did not dress up to the nines. And I do believe the Converse All Stars, wearing those Converse All Stars, was the theme. After the wedding, they went to an Italian restaurant. They ate. Then they went back to the chapel, and everybody went their separate ways. And I just thought that was beautiful because there wasn't a lot of stress and pressure. There wasn't a lot of money spent, which I love. Um, I just, I don't know. It's the pressure to create something extraordinary, which is mostly done for the spectacle of that being the day. But having your friends and loved ones around, like the idea of going to a beach at sunrise or at sunset or something like that. I love that kind of simplicity. I don't like a bunch of fuss and everything. And I can understand why Megan actually wanted, according to reports, something very simple. And I'm sure Harry as well. I couldn't imagine he would want anything so outrageous because of, the history in the family. So I find those simple weddings the best. Okay. All right, let's move on. So we did that. Now, do you guys know what these girls are practicing for? Do you know why they're practicing? Anybody? Why are these girls practicing? Why are they rearing back and drawing their knees up to their chest and winding up? Why are they doing that? Anybody? Anyone? Why are they doing that? Why are they practicing with those milkshakes? Hi, Raffaella Bertoni. Yes, they're going to do a farage. Yes, they're winding up to farage. At least I hope not. But I'm so shady, and I thought it would be funny to, you know, give everybody some milkshakes. These young girls with a great deal of social consciousness would practice for the sake of all humanity, just in case they had to farage somebody. And of course, that was my way of saying that Nigel Farage offered extra private security by Home Office after being pelted by milkshakes and objects in campaign attacks. Well, I I agree with that. I agree with that because the thing is, even though I may not particularly have a fondness for a political candidate, out of an abundance of responsibility, I say that we as a society have to protect those that are seeking higher office, even if we don't agree with them. And I would no more take away the security from the Orange Menace than I would from anyone that I feel some alignment with, politically speaking, because I think a society should protect those people seeking higher office. That is a responsible thing. So I don't think it makes anybody safe or anybody's life better to make someone like that unsafe, even if they are the scum of the earth or a scourge. That's not for us to judge. So he should be protected. There, I said it. And because these milkshakes today could be something worse tomorrow. And while it is fun to look at, while it is fun to look at, then you know what I'm saying. I mean, the idea that someone could rear back, wind up, draw their knee up to their chest, and haul off and hurl a milkshake at somebody, although it might be fun to see them draw back and lean over and wind their arms up and draw their knee up to their chest and like the tension on a high pressure coiled spring that they could let loose and hurl that milkshake with everything they got toward a political candidate. I feel it's irresponsible as well as detrimental to do such a thing, and I cannot approve of it, how no matter how funny it looks or who's being drenched with the contents of those milkshakes. It does not make us a better society. So uh, it does not make us a better society. How long is is your nose telling us what? I am being responsible as a content creator. I'm being responsible, and as Leg said the other day, I guess he's not loving it, but there he is with another one. So, um, who knows? Maybe he never had one in his life, and now he's a fan of the McDonald's milkshake or whatever company it comes from. Now, oh, by the way, you guys, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Sarah Ferguson is back in the royal fold, and here's why it's the best move by Charles. The king has made it clear to the world that Fergie is back and welcome. The first time since 1992 when she split from Prince Andrew. Now, there's a hole in this somewhere, and I'm going to point it out. And by the way, that is Carol Malone, a known Sussex hater. As a matter of fact, when she tweeted today, which I do not follow her, but someone shared an image, a screenshot of her tweet, it actually said that better to have Fergie back than some language she used to describe Meghan, which I thought was in very poor taste. And of course, has the potential of igniting hostility against someone she never met. And of course, can eventually become very dangerous. It's that vitriol, that hostile attitude that could cause someone mentally unstable to snap. And so it's not good. It's not good. And as I'm trying to be responsible, I think that this Carol Malone should be responsible. This is the one who blurted out that Charles did not have cancer, which starts to make more sense as the days go by. But she said, well, he doesn't have cancer. Do you guys remember that? She was on the Jeremy Vine show, and she said he doesn't have cancer. That was Carol Malone, a royalist, a monarchist, and a very hateful individual. Now, okay, listen, you guys, I have nothing against Fergie, but she is implying that it was Charles that brought her back into the fold. That is wrong. It was actually Harry and Meghan who first brought her out of the cold on their wedding day. It was Harry and Meghan who first brought her out of the cold. Now, I'm going to give credit to Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York. First of all, she has been friends with Diana, and she has been very loyal to Diana's memory. And secondly, she has not, you know, said anything disparaging about the Sussexes. And of course, there's been many times when the tabloid media has tried to set a trap for her, and she has been doing a very good job avoiding those pitfalls. Not an easy task because, you know, those people can make her life very miserable, but she stays on the straight and narrow. Also, the thing that I like to give her credit for is that when she broke up with Andrew and the queen asked her, "What is it do you require?" In other words, the marriage is over. What do you want from me? And she told the queen, "Your friendship." And she said this while the queen was still alive. So there's no disputing that that's what happened. If Sarah said that's what happened, I believe her. And it must have been a very good reason why the queen was still kind to her. The queen loved her. The queen was very fond of her. And so um, instead of doing like the Countess of Wessex wearing those big hats and riding back and forth to church with her, Sarah Ferguson has just maintained the same relationship they always had. Uh, Prince Philip didn't see it the same way. Prince Philip, they said when Sarah Ferguson was around, that if Prince Philip suddenly popped up, she had to make her exit immediately. So essentially, she was still out in the cold. She didn't go to any official events, and she wasn't welcome, especially when Philip was around. Okay? So I hate to do this, but I just need to set the record straight. Hey, Big Mama. Hi, Hazel Jones. Um, Fergie and the foot thing, that is one of the things that got her in trouble. The other thing that got her in trouble was the attempt to sell access to her husband, which coupled together were two major faux pas, which got her in a lot of trouble. And the queen forgave her, but Philip never did. Also, because of her relationship with Andrew, as you can see, together they had some very dodgy company. And it took a long time before she could be trusted again. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Carol Malone, in part of the thing that she wrote, used some examples of why Harry and Meghan, uh, should never be trusted or brought back into and all that kind of ridiculous stuff, as though none of this happened, right? As though none of this happened. And yes, it may have been about 30 years ago, but it's not like that this did not happen. And this was a major embarrassment for the family. But see, they didn't need any of this to try to build up two very lackluster, mediocre, lazy individuals. They didn't need to keep dragging Sarah Ferguson to try to make these two look better. So that is why they amplify the smallest thing about Harry and Meghan. And now we can just forget about all of this here, which, I agree. Move on. It happened. It's over. The queen forgave her. Everybody else seems to have forgiven her. And Carol Malone is trying to give this impression that Charles is doing the best thing that he ever could have done and brought her from out of the cold. I say no. Prince Harry and Meghan, see there, Prince Harry's aunt, Sarah Ferguson, aka Fergie, arrives at the royal wedding. Sarah Ferguson was all smiles on Saturday as she arrived at Windsor Castle for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal wedding. This was the first event that she had been to in a long, long time. It wasn't her daughter's weddings. It wasn't the Queen's funeral or anything like that. It was Harry and Meghan who made sure that she was included. I even saw an article today where they tried to say that it was the Queen that invited her to the wedding. No, it was not. It was not the Queen. Philip almost fell out of his carriage at Royal Ascot in 2018 when he saw Sarah Ferguson in the royal enclosure curtsying. That was his last time at Ascot. Hazel, you get a bell for that. Thank you. I could just imagine Prince Philip's big bushy eyebrows riding up and down with anger as he saw her. You know what I mean? I could just imagine those big bushy eyebrows just fluttering up and down like some of those big palm leaves, palm tree branches. Oh man. I don't know. Philip was funny to me. He was just funny. Let me see here. There we go. Was it something like this, Hazel? Was it something like that? I mean, I'm gonna have to go back and try to find that. I'm just picturing he was looking something like that. I'm convinced that when he T-boned that lady's car and broke her arm, I'm convinced that he thought that was Sarah Ferguson. To be fair, I'm thinking he thought that was Sarah Ferguson. I could be wrong though. Now, right here it says Sarah Ferguson reveals surprising foods that features in Princess Eugenie and Jack's royal wedding. Speaking about what was going through her head during the happy occasion, she explained, I felt like I was really happy for my friend Diana, who I love, and my mom and dad, and I felt honored and grateful for Harry and Meghan to invite me. For Harry and Meghan to invite me. It was a very kind of them, and I think I can't thank them enough for doing that because it was nerve wracking, but I knew I was ready. You see there? It was Harry and Meghan that brought her in from out of the cold. And so when she was, yeah, that underlined part, forget about that. But when she was interviewed, that was one of the things that she mentioned. Setting the record straight had nothing to do with Charles. Harry and Meghan threw her a lifeline. Now, the other thing that is going in Sarah's favor is right here. As you can see, Sarah, Duchess of York's newly restored to the Sandringham festive walkabout after more than 30 years, was honored by the late Queen just before her death. Her Majesty sanctioned a St. George Chapel, Windsor funeral for Fergie, followed by internment at the Royal Family Burial Ground in Frogmore. So I'm pointing this out. Make a mental note. Not that we expect that Sarah's going anywhere anytime soon, but when it does happen, you know they're going to give Charles all the credit, or they're going to give William all the credit for allowing her the honor of having a royal service and burial, when the truth is that was the Queen that arranged this. But don't worry, you guys, I promise you, they are going to give credit to either Charles or William, likely William, but they're going to give credit to whoever is on the throne and not give credit to the Queen, who is the one who forgave her and allowed her back into the fold. And it was Harry and Meghan who gave her the invitation to return. So just setting the record straight. And FYI, the house at the top on the left, that is Frogmore Cottage. And the house beneath that, that is Frogmore House, not to be confused with Royal Lodge. Looks a lot like Royal Lodge, but I think that's actually bigger than Royal Lodge. And then on the right side, that is the Frogmore Mausoleum, which was built by Queen Victoria for her and Albert to use right there at the Windsor family burial ground. So, um, oh, you know what? I can see it all the way back there. You see those two stones in the distance in the background there? That is the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Yeah, that's the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. They were being really shady and put them in the back beneath the trees away from everybody else. Shady. Knowing that they don't have any kids. All right. So just thought I would share that with you. And of course, Sarah Ferguson is thrilled to see Prince Harry so happy, says he deserves to be loved like that. So Sarah has been, very careful in the words that she has used, and she has had to be very careful for a long time, which again is not easy when you're dealing with that family. And I don't begrudge her for getting in trouble. The thing is, after she married Andrew, he went away to sea and left her alone. And she did not have her family with her. You know, they don't like you to have your own friends or anything like that. And what's worse is it's not like she was living in some council housing somewhere. She was living with that family, and you know how horrible they could be. The only friend that she had was Princess Diana. And of course, that was taken away from her. So she has not had an easy time of it. And I don't blame her for anything that happened. She was going up against some pretty dark forces, and they have. I mean, if you just look at that photo right there, I don't know about the lady on the right. I think that's Alexandra, maybe, but Diana, Fergie, and Margaret. They did everything they could to destroy all three of them, and they were setting their sights on Harry, who just happens to be in the bottom of the photo. They were after him. You know what I'm saying? These are the people, two of which married into the family. Margaret, they have no excuse for how horrible she was treated by that family. Um, so, this is what they were talking about. Sarah, for the first time in 30 years, did the walk to the Christmas Day thing. Now, I'm just going to give Charles credit for this one thing, and that, of course, was likely at the invitation of Charles. Um, so, yes, he does get credit for one thing, and that's it, this one. But anything else, that was the Queen and the Sussexes doing. Also, Sarah, that is Arthur Edwards. He is nobody's friend. But like I said, you have to try to get along when you're dealing with those people, because the same way Arthur Edwards talked about how much he loved Harry, oh, how much he loved Harry. Now look at how he talk about Harry and how much he used to love Diana. And he trashes Diana every time he gets an opportunity. He trashes Diana. And why is that? Because that is Camilla's friend. That is uh, the queen consort's friend. That's why. He's a horrible, horrible person. Yeah, that's true. Um, Kitty dug her own plight in the family. She will always be an outsider to them. Yeah, absolutely. And so there you have it. Look at Philip. Look at how his left eye is twitching. Philip's left eyes twitching because he can't believe how close he is to somebody he had been chasing away for probably 25 years at that point. He can't believe that she's in the same room with him. Everybody's smiling but Philip. Everybody's smiling but Philip. I wonder what happened to him. Oh, well. So, Prince William's absence for key Princess Margaret and Queen Mother Memorial. As a reminder, and I just found this while I was digging through my receipts, and I thought I would share it with you. They're trying to create this new image for William, the statesman. But let me show you the real William. The real William didn't go to the Thanksgiving service marking the 10 years of Margaret's death. Why not? I think he went skiing. There's a lot of times when he should have been there and he wasn't. William did whatever William wanted to do. And that is why William is the Prince of Wales who cannot speak Welsh because he's never been serious about his role. And the idea that he just woke up at age 40, or is he 41 now? That he has woke up at age 40, 42 he is, right? Now that he's 40 something, he decides that he wants to do his job. Now, I have to give credit to Charles. Charles is able to speak French and German and Welsh. I mean, he's got something going on between his two ears. This guy, too lazy to do anything. Too lazy. But that wasn't what I really wanted to share at this point. I want you to take a look on the left at poor Margaret. This is what the institution did to Margaret. Margaret's escape from that family was through booze and other substances. And of course, some very tawdry, wild relationships. And she wasn't the nicest person, but considering how she had been treated her entire life, I don't know that I could blame her because everything was always designed to seem as though she needed the queen. If it wasn't for Queen Elizabeth, her very existence might not be. She was encouraged to be more like her sister, but you can't do as your sister do, right? That kind of thing. Even though Margaret was always the most outgoing and sociable of the two, did not matter. There was no defined role for Margaret. Margaret was just supposed to be there to support her sister, to live in her sister's shadow. It didn't matter how much talent she had, how much connection she might have. None of that mattered. She was supposed to live in her sister's shadow. And so she rebelled the only way she knew how. And she just died a very broken person. Yeah, she was the more beautiful of the sisters. Yeah, she was the more beautiful. She was like a screen idol. That family, it does things to you. The only reason why they didn't destroy Princess Anne is because Anne has always been the son that Philip always wanted, right? She has been the son that Philip always wanted. But other than that, they would have probably made her life miserable, but she was too much of a rebel. She was too much of a rebel. And having the confidence to compete in the Olympics and such, she had a good sense of herself. But when Margaret was growing up, she didn't come along during the time of independent women. She was encouraged to be an accessory to men. It's a big difference between Margaret's generation I mean, could you imagine Margaret having the opportunity to compete in the Olympics or to have all of these affairs? I mean, but back in the 50s, she couldn't be as liberated, so to speak, as as Anne, Afro Annie. I mean, anytime you have the Prince of Wales and the Princess Royale, pretty much sharing the same couple as their lovers, that just goes to show you how much times had changed in a very short period of time. If that was Margaret, it would have been unheard of. Yeah. So Margaret is a cautionary tale. This is what happens to people. The only thing that I could think of that was worse involved a tunnel in Paris. That's the only thing I could think of that was worse. Now, right here, Andrew Morton was on ABC and spoke to Queen Elizabeth's something, Margaret's relate. I don't. Well, I don't. Let me see what that says. I'm just kind of curious. Queen Elizabeth and her sister Margaret's relationship. He described Margaret as Elizabeth's wing woman and how sad it is that William lost his wingman in Harry. Margaret smoked 60 cigarettes a day and drank herself to death due to depression. Mm-hmm. So, saying that she smoked 60 cigarettes a day and that she suffered debilitating depression and that she was likely an alcoholic, is it really so sad that William lost his wingman? Is that really so sad? I think it's probably has saved Harry's life that he's out of that situation. That's what saved his life. God had other plans. William, okay, this is the meat of it right here. Prince William enters his statesman era. Bum, bum, bum. You guys, I'm telling you, William is a statesman. I got to be careful how I talk about him for henceforth because I don't want to step on his toes. He's a statesman. I don't know why saying that reminds me of Jethro Bodine becoming a double knot spy or a brain surgeon or a movie director. But that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Jethro on Beverly Hillbillies. Today he's a brain surgeon. Tomorrow he's a double knot spy. And next week he'll be a movie director or producer, director. All of those things. That's William, a man of so many talents, and yet not really good at anything. Prince William is set to assume the role of global statesman, which will see him travel the world to represent Britain abroad. Now, they said that back in March of 2023. Where has he been? Because when he traveled to New York, he was doing that for himself to try to become a global statesman. And really, it was for Earthshot, right? When he went to Singapore, he was going there to be a global statesman. But really, it was for Earthshot, wasn't it? The point is, going to Boston, going to New York, going to Singapore, none of that had to do with being a global statesman. That was about the Earthshot, which is still not popular. Most people don't even know it exists. And the people that have won the award, of course, they get paid in increments over time. It's a mess. It is a vehicle to try to make William look important because there's an audience of one, and that is Prince Harry. Harry looks too much like what William should be, and Harry has been doing that for so long, I'm sure he doesn't even think about it. Harry has been a statesman ever since his grandmother said, "Can you go over to, do you think you can?" And as soon as he did that, that's when Harry became, Harry's been a statesman for over 10 years, a global statesman. William is trying to play catch up. So, as you can see, they have announced over a year since the first time they said that he was a global statesman. They said it in 2023. They're saying it today. And yet, the government of the United Kingdom very wisely will not let him go anywhere. He hasn't been allowed to represent the United Kingdom ever since he lost half of the Commonwealth, right? That was the last time that he represented that country. And that is because he is a disaster. And I'm sure he's trying to blame Kate for it, when the truth is, he is the one who is a complete failure, a loser, a failure, and a short sighted pantywaist. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Loving William in his statesman era, fans praise Prince William of Wales as he steps up royal duties amid King Charles cancer treatment. So the tabloids, the tabloids are doing everything they can to stroke his ego by running these articles like this one, June the 6th. Remember the one where they said he was with what was it, three kings, six president, or whatever they said, and too many prime ministers to count. And now he's riding on a train on his way to look at seaweed. Yeah, that's a global statesman if I ever seen one. He went with his mama and his evils. I'm sorry, he went with his daddy and his evil stepmama to a D-Day ceremony. And now he's on a train because it would seem tacky to fly there, seeing that it's about sustainability. Now he's on a train to go look at seaweed. Yeah, that's a statesman. That's a statesman. You know, if you just changed the dates, I would think you were talking about Sir Winston Churchill. If you gave him some leg braces and a wheelchair, I would think you were talking about Franklin Delano Roosevelt. If you gave him some greasy black hair and had him look over a wall, I would think you were talking about Ronald Reagan. I mean, I don't know how I'm not confusing him with some of the great statesmen of my lifetime. I don't know how. How am I missing that? But then I realized that's not what's his name? That's not give me a who's a great statesman? Let me see. I don't really like Churchill. Okay, so that is not Bill Clinton. That is William of Wales. So a train trip and accompanying his evil stepmother and his father over to France, that is supposed to make him a statesman. In what universe? See, it's not what you do, it's what the tabloids say you're doing. That's what matters. Now, right here. So people kind of snap back. Does Buckingham Palace pay you directly, or they use a middleman? After reading this court circular and Society Daily Mail, I'm going to read a newspaper. Let me see. I like it when he talks about saving the planet and rushes off to board his private jet. What he really means is, you guys save the planet. He love it. Okay. Let me see. Well, most people act more maturely at 40 compared to how they act at 20. His PR campaign is underway. So in addition to daily nausea from the Kardashian women, we will be having even more William Flim Flam. Global statesman, he didn't make much of an impact on his recent tour of the Caribbean, did he? Baby, these are actually, I think these are from 2022. I think these are from, no, no, no. I think these are from 2023. Yeah. Anyway, I saved these from some time ago. Global statesman, who writes this nonsense? Cameras click on. William and Kate play doting parents for good PR shots. Cameras click off. The army of nannies come in and take over doing the real work of raising the children. Oof. Oof. Wow. Nice try, Wheels. Wasn't the party prince? I'm sorry, wasn't the party prince. He and Kate are the dull as dishwater. I always say that. He and Kate are the dull as dishwater type. Lovely, just right for royals, but middle age at 20. Please stop trying to make these two into glamorous anything. And one more. With a wildly inaccurate headline like Party Prince, I'm not even going to bother spending longer than a minute inside this story. How dreadful for their statistics. You know what? I don't remember what article I got that from. I was just going through my receipts and I found everything that said global statesman, which both of these say global statesman, but oh well, that was how they felt a couple of years ago. And guess what? It's still consistent now. How interesting. Nothing has changed. Okay. The Royal wrote a front page for the last 3 days, glimpses of Kate and also Charles and Camilla, but no mention of global statesman. Mister, I'm bringing sexy back William and his summit in New York, not even a cheeky pic of him in his waders. So this is obviously from the New York trip. This is a receipt I kept from the New York trip. I noticed it when I went to the shop, not one front page of Willie, magazines mostly Kate and a few for Megan, but none of Willie. Not many are interested in Willie without Kate. Maybe he's starting to realize being heir doesn't make you a favorite. That's why he needs the whole of the media. You guys, do you see why I keep stuff like this? Do you see why I keep stuff like this? And then Graham Smith says, such sycophantic nonsense. He is not a statesman. He doesn't have global appeal or influence. He's a dilettante. Woo. Okay. This is why I keep stuff like this. Because, you know what? I could tell you when I saved them because the date is with the file, but not really necessary. But I believe these two were from the New York trip. So as you can see, for about 2 years, they have been trying to sell us on this Willie the Statesman. And it doesn't seem to take, it's not getting any traction, should I say. He is still the same old work shy Will that he's always been and always will be. Okay. You know this one is from New York. Look at his face, y'all. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at how serious he looks. Ooh, that's a statesman. That's a statesman, y'all. That's William the Statesman. Look at how serious he. Look at how he's got his fingers all clasped together. You know he's doing some serious statesman thinking. He's a real global statesman, that one. The mayor couldn't attend for this photo op. Playing statesman in a country you can't control is hard. I repeat, Playing statesman in a country you can't control is hard. Now, I will not take credit for that because I know that one of the squatties wrote that in the Twitter. And when I saved it that day, I just saved that little comment with it because I am shady AF. That's right, shady AF. I did not want to forget that moment. Oh boy, I tell you, if I was if I was in a bigger role as a platform creator, I would have so many people mad at me. I save stuff like this just for such an occasion as the relaunch of his Global Statesman Day. Anyway, before his fingers began to bleed, let me just go to the next slide. Prince William shows UK has unbeatable soft power and royal is becoming global statesman. Now, that is from March of 2023. How many times is he going to try to step out as a statesman? He just keeps every, like, I guess at a rate of every 6 months, they decide to kick off the William the statesman. Every 6 months, they kick off William as a statesman. Prince William wants to be a global statesman. Wait, I said every 6 months, right? That was in March of 2023. That's the third month. This is September. That is the ninth month. That is 6 months, almost 6 months to the day. I guess it wasn't really getting any traction. So he comes back in September of 2023. And the thing is, if you are a statesman, you don't tell people you're a statesman. They say you're a statesman. This is not a declaration from a esteemed journalist or newspaper or whatever. This is being leaked or briefed, should I say, from Kensington Palace. They are calling people. Notice that only the tabloids that are in bed with Kensington Palace, they're the only ones that's saying this nonsense. They are the only ones. People that they have been able to rely upon to leak information about the Sussexes and people who they can feed information about themselves, they're the only ones that are using the term statesman. I guarantee you, you're not going to see someone on ABC or NBC or something like that saying, global statesman Prince William. You either are or you are not. But to make an announcement, that's just tacky. That is the height of tackiness. Who does that? I mean, please make them stop. From the party prince to what is that? The what's it? Compassy? Future king at 40, how Prince William, who struggled to commit to Kate in their early courtship, has matured into a global statesman and a doting father. Now, who wrote that? Bo Tweedy for the mail on. Oh, it's Joe Tweedy. Joe Tweedy. Is that any relations to Conway Tweedy? Conway Tweedy? Is that like some country singer at night and royal reporter by day? Who is Joe Tweedy? Oh well. I got a better question. Who cares? Who cares? This is like going on 3 years of them declaring that this man is a global statesman. Nobody was buying it the first year, or the second year, or even the third year. Okay, I'm back. Mackenzie, 18 months membership. Hey, Baron Squad, happy Thursday. I'm having oral surgery in a few. Keep me in your prayers as I'll be under anesthesia. Lovely Eve day to all. Thank you, Mackenzie, and thank you for 18 months membership. And certainly we'll keep you in our prayers. And I hope all goes well. And just remember, they know what they're doing. There has been so many advancements in pain and what else? Infection, all that kind of stuff. It's just, I'm telling you, it's a walk in the park. You're going to be just fine. You have nothing to worry about. Plus, you have our prayers. So make it do what it do. Make it do what it do. I'm just so impressed by modern medicine and science these days. Raffaella Bertoni, grazie, Mr. Barron. Well, grazie to you too. And thank you so much for being here on Royal Sussex. And happy, let me see, I know it's Thursday for you, right? Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Okay. How come that's not showing up at the top of my screen like it's supposed to? You know, that's so weird. Sometime, okay, I won't worry about it now, but I don't see that at the top of my screen. Okay. Let me try that. Huh. All right, I guess it's not supposed to do that tonight. All right, no worries. And next, okay, open letter to Prince Harry. Dear Harry, this open letter is about acceptance. You will never be Prince William. You will never have his good looks and charisma. You will never be king. You will never draw big crowds. You will never be a statesman. You will never be meeting with the American president. This, you know, this is a deranger. Your wife will never be accomplished and beautiful like Catherine. She will never be charismatic and charming like Catherine. But you gave the freedom to live your own life. Please do so and leave your brother and his wife alone. Please do it for the country. We need the stability of the monarchy. This, now do you see why we call them derangers? I hope they have those carbon monoxide detectors in their homes. I do hope so. I really, really do. They need them. They really do need them. It's the only way that they're going to survive in this world is to make sure that they take every precaution for their safety around their household. Um, Given everything that's happened, not just since Christmas, but I don't know how long, December 2022. Given everything that has happened since December of 22. See, when the Queen died, the derangers were so full of themselves, and they thought that they were on top of the world, and that Queen Catherine and King Willie were going to all of a sudden have these new roles as the Prince and Princess of Wales, and that they are really going to show the world what they're capable of. I ain't worried about Sway Sway. I am not worried about Sway Sway. Not at all. I don't worry about Sway Sway. Yep. Let me see here. So I'm going to say to this person,
Hey, girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
yes, that person really do needs to sit down. So take a look here on the right. Awaiting Queen Kate. Online survey finds 70% of people think the Princess of Wales will make the perfect consort to King William. I wonder how William feel about that. A blow to Princess Beatrice and Eugenie. Exclusive Mail Online poll shows majority of Britons think the Duke of York's daughters should be removed from the line of succession. Now, honestly, I don't remember how long I've had this, but do you see how easily they abuse members of that family? Remember what I was saying yesterday? Remember what I was saying yesterday? How they treat the York sisters? This is what I'm talking about. Imagine some of the things that happened with Margaret when nobody was looking. It doesn't matter that they're blood relatives. I cannot tell you why Princess Anne escaped the brutality of that institution, but she did. She got off easy. But they have been abusing the York sisters for years. And when Kate married into the family, she was being abused. Let's face it, she was being abused. And when the time was right, they found someone that they could tear down and build her up, whilst at the same time making a bed for Kate and William to crawl into with the tabloid media. They're very fickle. They're very fickle. The same people that's praising Queen Camilla today was dogging her yesterday. But still, the level of threats and vitriol for Meghan is off the charts because of her blackness. It's off the charts. That's the difference. Prince William will look to cement himself as, oh God, you know what? I am curious. I want to see, when did I save this? Let me see. I save stuff like this. Okay. I've had this since September of 2023. So essentially, yeah, I had this since September of 2023. Bad news for Camilla. Exclusive Mail Online poll. Half of Britons think Princess Diana. Oh, okay. Well, they ain't lying. Okay. Question: why doesn't Will know how to memorize his lines? I don't know if it is a US thing, but I was taught to memorize, and why doesn't he learn Welsh? Thank you, Legs. Now, the worst thing was when he had to read a script. He had to read that note card for coronation. That was the worst thing. His father has learned several different languages, and he could be forgiven for looking at a note card given his age. But William, who sometimes forgets to return helicopters, who forgets where he left his, you know, weapon that was issued by the military, is the same person who couldn't memorize just a few lines for a coronation. I'm just saying, since he doesn't have all the other stuff that his father has committed to memory, okay, this is the same William that forgot about World War I, World War II, the ethnic cleansing in the Baltic states, right? This is the same person who forgot about the Spanish Civil War. So this William, who was more used to seeing war, modern day war, in Africa or Asia, forgot all about World War II, forgot all about World War I, the war to end all wars. So it seems like if you can't remember those things, at the very least, you could remember your role on Coronation Day. You just say, you're man of liege and pleasure, leisure, whatever, and that's it. It ain't that much. You got one thing. You only got one thing to do right, and he couldn't even do that. That's why when I say he's a big dum dum, I'm not making it up. This guy ain't wrapped too tight. Now, I don't know if it was something to do with that, golf club, but he. Well, thank you, Legs. That's a very good question. Oh boy, I'm so bad. I am really enjoying myself tonight. I am just being shady and enjoying myself. Lydia says Charles was lazy father. He should have been training his heir. He had no control over either son as children after uh, as children after Diana passed, they were left to their own devices. Very, very true. And I'll say too that when I found out that he had went to the opera on the night that kid got his cranium cracked, no matter what else you could possibly say, that is a very evil individual who walks away from their child at a time like that. And all of these things that the British public, according to the tabloids, can never forgive or never forget. Well, they seem to have selective memory based on what the tabloids say. Based on what the tabloids say. Charles has gone from he's never going to be king, he shouldn't be king, and now, of course, they're trying to convince people that he's doing a good job. The truth is, they are not releasing any new polls. I noticed that. Where are the new polls? Where are the polls that declare that, what is it, 75, 65% of the public wants to keep the royal family? I have not seen a poll in ages. If there is one, they have not made a big fuss about it for whatever reason. Must be a reason. Lizzie, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Happy Wednesday or Thursday to you. Prince William pledges to make peace in the Middle East his lifelong project after a historic 5-day trip to region. Now, that was back in 2018. And of course, with all of the attention that Harry and Meghan were getting from their wedding, they had to send him to the Middle East so that he could try to look like he was doing something. I love when he puts that serious face on. When I'm gonna call that his global statesman face. What you doing, global statesman? Global statesman? Global statesmaning. Yeah, he's global statesmaning. Okay. And of course, I'm not going to go through this one here on the right again, but just notice every time he said I is underlined. This, of course, was what he was saying about the current genocide that's happening. And curiously enough, even though his wife is fighting for her life, they used his style that he used before he was married, and he used I rather than Catherine and I or we. We, my wife and I, just him, no Catherine. Very, very odd. Okay, I think this is the last of the statesman comments. This is very small, but I'll do my best. Okay. Oh my goodness. Let me see, where am I here? Okay, there we are. Yeah. Oh, let me pull this a little closer. I can barely see it, but all right. Prince William pledged to make peace in the Middle East, his lifelong project. Okay. Prince William pledges to help the Aborigines hunt for warrior missing skull. Prince William pledges extraordinary World Cup. Prince William pledges to get men talking more talking more as he backs self-harm prevention. Prince William pledges his love for AC/DC, Thunderstruck, as his best tonic for a Monday morning. Okay. Britain's Prince pledges solidarity with Ukraine on tour of Caribbean. Prince William pledges support for Bahamas' future. Prince William pledges respect countries seeking independence. Yeah, he's going to respect countries seeking independence. Prince William pledges support for King Charles in every way he can. Wait, there's more. Prince William pledges war against Prince Harry over Netflix series Back Off. Prince William pledges not to take any more of Camilla during call with Harry. What year was that? Duke of Cambridge pledges to save outdoor spaces. Prince William pledged his support for the LGBT rights on Commonwealth Day. Oh, that was back in 2018. Well, I know that's one pledge he's planning to keep. He's going to keep that one. Prince William pledges support to Tanzania anti-poaching crusade. Duke of Cambridge pledged to remember at National Holocaust ceremony. And that last one is so small, I ain't going to even try it. But I'm sure it was something important. Mm. You mean his what is it? Jar Jar Snugglepuss face. Jar Jar Binks, right? Jar Jar Binks Snugglepuss face. Careful, you don't know what Jar Jar did in Star Wars. Senator Palpatine got power. His antics is the folly of us all. Well, thank you, Legs, for that Star Wars reference. Which, by the way, I just watched that one where the Lord of the Sith or whatever got cut in half with the lightsaber. I just watched that one again. Boy, that was so good. That one was so good. Where Luke Skywalker, made it seem like he was there in that thing with them. I just watched that one about a week ago. But thank you, Legs. Let's see here. I had a troll come into my comment because said Diana was a good mom. This fool said they were at boarding school. Oh yeah, they love to say crazy stuff like that. Mm-mm-mm. They say it with so much gusto and authority as though they just know it to be true. When the truth is, they are just trying to um, demoralize people that support um, Diana or the Sussexes and such. They really just want to demoralize us. And no lie is too big. So, Miss Scobie says here, let me see. I would far rather get destroyed in the press than play along with. Oh, this is a quote from Harry. I'm sorry. I would far rather get destroyed in the press than play along with this game or this business of trading negative stories. To see my brother's office copy the same thing that we promised the two of us would never do, that was heartbreaking. Now, what Harry is speaking of here is that they promised that they would never brief against one another the way Diana and Charles were at war and briefing against each other with the press. Very easy promise to keep. Just don't do it. He and William promised each other that they were not going to brief against one another in the press. And William has been on this one sided war using the press as a weapon against his brother because of spite and jealousy. But you know what? Just as I was saying that, I'm thinking to myself, William started this malicious thing with Harry while they were still there because he was jealous of his relationship with Meghan. He's always been jealous of Harry, but because Harry was so happy with Meghan and he is not very content with himself, when Harry left that family, William, through so much of his anger and such, thought that taking everything away from his brother was going to make him come crawling back, not realizing how unimportant those things were to Harry. Harry has everything he's ever wanted and everything he'll ever need. William, on the other hand, is insecure, drunk with authority, and just an all around miserable, unhappy, closeted person. That's why he's so angry. That's why he keeps lashing out. Got to keep an eye on him. Just the same, you got to keep an eye on him. Briefing against the Sussexes is no substitute for work, William. Despite claiming he needs to work from home to support his wife, Prince William has found plenty of time to brief against his charismatic brother and his wife, the accomplished Duchess of Sussex. Recent leaks have included claims that William invited Duke and Duchess to bring their children to the UK. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan's stateside ventures are increasingly high profile and successful. Now, again, this is something that I took from one of the squatties. I don't even remember who at this point, but I've saved it for some time, and I think it is quite fitting at this moment. It says everything that needs to be said. So here's Harry the Statesman. It's these images, and there's so many that I couldn't possibly share even half of them, but I'm just going to share a few slides. That, of course, was Harry in Dusseldorf. There's Harry at the United Nations. There's Harry with the current chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest ranking uniformed officer in the United States military, by the way. Um, Answers only to the Secretary of Defense and the President. And there, of course, was the more recent Harry at the St. Paul's in Nigeria. Harry's military visit, that, of course, was the words of the Daily Mail. There's Harry on the roof of the at the St. Paul's Cathedral. That he's with, I think he was from the Netherlands, was he? I think he's a admiral from the Netherlands. But yeah, they're talking about the Invictus Games. And I love this. There's young Harry, and there's Harry all grown up, Archie's papa. There's Archie's papa. Still the same Harry, still happy. And at his core, he's just a very happy person. And he's got more reason to be happy today than he's ever had in his life. Yep, he's got more reason to be happy because he is free of that institution. And of course, Harry in Florida, in Miami, that is, at the Polo Club. Harry with I want to say it's Travelers. And of course, this headline, which is the one that was heard around the world. There's Will and Kate going to play with them sticks in the woods that day. Remember that? When they had that handsaw and safety goggles trying to cut a little twig when they could have just took their foot and stepped on it and broken into or bent it over their knee. They're using a handsaw. Lord have mercy. Meanwhile, Harry is over in Dusseldorf with the NATO chiefs. What a contrast. And of course, arriving in Miami. I love it. Now, moving on, we're almost in the home stretch, you guys. And that, of course, is the Queen Maxima and, of course, King Willem Alexander of the Netherlands. While they were in Savannah, they actually went on a leisurely stroll. I mean, it's just really touching the way that they are so close to one another. When was the last time we saw the Prince of Wales in a situation like this? It's been a long time. There's no protocol that prohibits this type of connection. The only reason why it doesn't happen is because they just don't want it to. That's why. And because nobody believes all of this stuff that they've been saying about how close they are, they get angry and project on Harry and Meghan. And of course, the dress from yesterday. I just had to throw that in there again. You better work, girl. Work. And I think this is the last one. Yes, I do believe this is the last one. Last and still shady. I wonder if he's ever slept rough. Yeah, I wonder if he ever slept rough. Just wondering. As you all know, William has once slept rough. I'm sorry. William has once, I can't even get it out. William has once slept rough with a black man just to bring attention to homelessness. At least I guess that's why he did it. So I'm pretty sure that those are the thoughts that's going through his mind as he's taking a measure of the situation. But maybe he'll invite him to go and try to bring attention to homelessness this weekend. You never know. We'll see. But anyway, you guys, thank you all so much, and thank you for being here. Remember, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to share. And if you're not subscribed, please do to help with the Royal Sussex. Yeah, that's it. To help with the Royal Sussex. Okay. Oh, no, not that one. Oh, boy. What am I looking? Oh, there it is right there. Sorry about that. Got it. All right. So thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. Cheers to the Mod Squad. And also, whenever you see our queens, it is time to go. And I'm pretty sure y'all know what that means. And let's see, our last word for today is tell me more about your pulled pork sandwich. Tell me more about your pulled pork sandwich. Everybody's interested in the pulled pork sandwich, I suppose, at some point. TB, thank you so much for being here. Good night, Mary H. Cherry Hill, good night. Oh, thank you, Lydia. I had fun. You know, I love Dragon Willie. That is like one of my favorite things. I never get bored with it. I never get tired of it. It's just like one of my favorite things. Whenever the Sussexes are too busy to make appearances, I start dragging. As a public service, I start dragging Willie. And as a very wise woman once said, wait, where is she? As a very wise woman once said, wise woman, where are you?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so let's end with the Madam Duchess, and I will see you all tomorrow. There we go. Put that up there.